Hi everybody, welcome back to Quarantine Cooking with Carolyn and bonus video number 4. Now, in the past, bonus videos have always been about dessert, but I am going to break with that tradition just this once to show you some tips, tricks, hacks, if you will, and some products that I think are great. So let's get started. Now, on a previous video, I talked about mise en place. And mise en place is a French term, and it basically means everything in place. And that can refer to, and usually refers to, having all of your ingredients lined up, ready to go, so that when you start cooking, you're not running back and forth to the refrigerator, to the pantry, to wherever. You know you've got everything chopped, ready to go, it's good. It can also refer to, in my mind anyway, as having your kitchen set up efficiently so that you know where everything is and it's convenient. Now, every video you've seen me do, I have been right here at this board and I've done all my prep at this board, okay? If I need a knife, I can reach down here. I don't even have to look down to get a knife. I know exactly where they are and I can put my hands right on them. I do have to look down, however, to get the right knife. I also have my silverware here because it is closest to the dining room table. I don't want to have my knives across the room because then I'm running back and forth. That's silly. That's just silly. So we're coming over here and closest to the stove. So down here, I have my pots and pans. And these are the ones that I use the most, especially the ones on this top layer. Now, my husband said I should also point out how I have these nifty little liners for my pans. And these are especially good for your non-stick pans because they do scratch very easily. And this is just that spongy little shelf liner. You can see I cut it in very rough circles just to cover these. And when it gets dirty or greasy, you can just throw it away and buy more. It's like $3 a roll or something. It's super, super easy. Down here is all my measuring tools for both baking and cooking, as well as rolling pins and other things. But those are right here, all right at hand immediately. Then we're going to come over here, and when I'm cooking on the stove, the things I use the most often, the spoons, the spatulas, whether it's this kind or this kind, and a few other tongs and a few other things that I use frequently that are right at hand. Other utensils are in the drawers. I don't use them as much. They're still right handy, but they're not right here. Salt and pepper, I use in every recipe. So it is right here as well, okay? Coming back around, I'm gonna open this. I'm very lucky that I have a Lazy Susan here. But down here, I've got my cooking sprays and my oils. And then if you watch my videos, you've noticed that I decant a lot, if not all, of my dry goods. Not only does it store better, but I can also see immediately what I have. They're all labeled. I have a little label maker that I love, clearly. And like I said, I can see exactly, like for instance, I'm almost out of cornmeal. So I'm gonna add that to my list right here. Okay, and this is something that I have gotten much better at since the COVID thing. I used to just say, oh, well, I'm out of this and I'll just run to the store. Well, right now we can't or shouldn't be doing that. We need to stay closer to home. So if I'm out of something, I try to go to the store once a week. I try to be better about writing a list. And it really has helped. And this is something that I really, really want to continue doing. So let me just turn this. There we go. Now, I'm going to show you behind this cupboard. This is probably the smartest thing I have ever done when it comes to kitchen organization. And you're probably going to roll your eyes, but This is my spice cupboard and my baking cupboard. And as you can see, I have all my spices, or at least the ones that I use most frequently, in little tins like this. They're really nice. I've labeled them again with my label maker, and they have a nice clear lid so that I can see what's in it and how much I have. Now my system is, when I run out or I'm getting low, is I turn it upside down. And that way when I go to make my list, I can see, like, I'm not out of sage, but I can see right at a glance that I'm out of chives because it's upside down. So that, and then up here I've got my flour, sugar, baking soda, baking powder, and salt, all decanted. And it makes it so much easier. Another great thing about these is because the opening is wider, you can actually get a full tablespoon in there to lift when you need that much of something. These jars, you can't do that with these jars. You can get maybe, oh, this is very full. You can maybe get a teaspoon in there, but you cannot get a tablespoon in there. Another thing about this, look, I wanted to show you this. Look at all the different sizes of containers, and this is just a few that spices come in. You've got the big container of cinnamon, but then there's another one that's half this size, metal tin. Then you've got this tall jar. You've got this one, oh, this one's round. This one's taller still. They're all different, and some of them come in bags. It's just a jumble. You cannot see what you've got. I recently, or not recently, a couple of years ago, helped a friend clean out her spice cupboard. She had 3 cans of dill in there, and one of them had a price tag on it that said 17 cents. Honest to God. I went to the grocery store last week and I checked the price of dill today. It's about $3. So that tells you how long it's been in there. So this will save you time and money because you're not rebuying things that you already have. And you know exactly what you've got. Now, if you get all excited and you think, oh my God, I've got to do that with my spices, but you don't want to wait for the tins to come because I ordered these online. I think I got them at a place called American Bottle and Jar. I know Amazon has them, however. But if you don't want to wait for them to come and you get all excited and you want to do this, I can't say I blame you. You can also get these little tubs or these little Tupperware type things at Target. And these are just plastic and they're very, very convenient, but they function the same way. They don't look quite as pretty, but they're very functional. And you can get this size or you can get this bigger size. And this is where up top I keep some of my like sort of backup spices or things that I don't use as often. For instance, we were in Turkey last year and I bought Ottoman spice. Ottoman spice is really nice. It's a spicy flavor, but I don't use it every day. You know, I use it once in a while. So it's up there you know, I have to actually get the step stool out to get that. So anyway, fabulous. I can't say enough about how great this works. Other things I decant are pastas and rices as well, and I've got another cupboard for that. So moving right along to some other tips, other things that I do. I'm going to start with this package of chicken. Now this says chicken times 2. That means I've got 2 chicken breasts in there. And I've talked about this once before, I think, on the show. What I've done when I buy meat and I put it in the freezer, one thing I used to hate because sometimes I would forget to take it out of the freezer. Then I was coming home and I was trying to get the aluminum foil off and it sticks, and it was just a nightmare just so I could get it in the microwave to get it thawed so I could use it. So what I've learned to do is I've learned to wrap my meats in wax paper bags first. Now, I get these bags from boxes of cereal or crackers. You can also use just regular old wax paper. That works just fine. But I just take these from the cereal and I give them a little shake out, or you can rinse the bag out if you want. And I have a little bag that I stuff them all in, and when I'm ready, I just grab what I need, the right size, and wrap it up, and I know exactly what I have. But another thing is, if I do remember to take this out of the freezer and it's just thawing away in the refrigerator, if the juices run a little bit, they're going to be contained by that wax paper bag and it won't make a mess in the fridge. So that saves you a little effort as well. Now, few other products that I want to show you that I think are great. Now, I want to stress here, I am not being paid to recommend anything. These are just some things that I think are really great and save me a ton of time. I've talked a great deal about the next two things. The minced garlic in the jar. Okay, you can buy this in the grocery store. This is a monster jar because I do a lot of cooking and I'm Italian. Okay, nothing is complete without garlic in my world. But you can buy smaller jars. You can buy a jar that's so big, maybe an ounce or so. You can also buy another one that's maybe about like so, like almost like a spice jar, tall spice jar. And you buy those in the grocery store. In my grocery store, they're in the produce department, right between like the produce and deli. And they're usually on a shelf. Usually if you ask the produce guys where it is, they can point you in the right direction. Okay, I've talked ad nauseum about the crock pot liners. These are absolutely fabulous. They save you so much time on the cleanup. And these are just a heat-proof liner that go in your crock pot and saves you a lot of work on cleanup, especially if you're making something sticky. No matter what your crock pot, it's bulky and hard to clean. These will save you so much time. I swear they will. In fact, a friend of mine, Trevor, who lives in the UK, was watching one of my videos and he said, well, we don't have those over here. So I sent him some. But I suspect they do have them. And the reason I suspect they have them, he just doesn't know it, is my guess. Because a lot of people here don't know it either. I told my girlfriend Carol about these, and she has said, oh my God, they are a game changer. So check these out. They are usually where they keep the wraps. Different stores do it differently, but they're usually where you find the aluminum foil, etc. Just don't buy the Brownin bags. Those are different. Those are for basting turkeys and chickens. But you want the slow cooker liners. Make sure you're getting those. The boxes are similar-ish. Okay, something I have not talked about on the show is tomato paste in a tube. And it looks like that. And this is usually where the tomatoes are, the tomato paste. It's usually on a top shelf. It is a little pricey, but if you've ever made a recipe that calls for 1 or 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, what do you do with the rest of the tomato paste, right? Well, you can be very highly organized, and I'm very highly organized, and I don't do this, and you can put it in the freezer. Or you could get this, and once you open it, it just goes in the refrigerator and keeps very, very nicely. So it's just a really nice, handy product. Okay. Ready-made lasagna noodles, or oven-ready specifically. These are no-boil noodles. I have not boiled a lasagna noodle in probably 30 years. I can make lasagnas like this. People think lasagna is hard to make. The hardest part is boiling the noodles and making sure that you get a whole noodle because they fall apart when you boil them. These are no boil. I swear you won't taste the difference. You really won't. And they are so, so easy. And you have absolutely no waste with these like you will with the regular boiled noodles. If you're still boiling noodles, stop. Last but not least are frozen or refrigerated pie crusts. There's 2 different kinds. The frozen kind are particularly good for making pie or quiche. You can make a very quick quiche out of this. And you can make your own pie crust, absolutely. I've done it. But these are, why reinvent the wheel? And then these are in the refrigerator case, and these are rolled up. And you just unroll them, and you can put them in a pie plate and make your pie that way. But these are also good for making things like calzones or you can make your own toaster pastries like your own Pop-Tarts, or you can make knishes. So you can make a lot of different things with these as well. So these are great. Like I said before, why reinvent the wheel? So that's all I've got for you today. I know this was a little bit long. I hope you stayed with me to the end, and I hope you learned something. If you did, let me know. Let me know if you've tried something, if it worked for you, and even more so, if you have a hint or a trick, let me know. I'd love to hear about your hints and tricks that you use. So thanks for watching, guys, and I know you've got